Everyone ready to learn how to make some more money on eBay? I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for coming. My name's Julie. I'm an attorney, and I have 2 eBay stores. And I'm presenting today with my friend Dave. He has an MBA degree. He's a super smart guy, and he has an amazing eBay business that he's going to talk to you about too. We're going to take questions at the end. So if you're watching on the live stream, you can ask questions there. If you're in the room, we're going to set up a mic, and you can ask questions at the end. This photo was taken in the year 2000 when I accidentally started my eBay business. I did not think that I had any capability to start another business because I had my hands full. I was a full-time trial attorney, and that's my husband, Craig. Those are our 2 boys. Jake was a rambunctious toddler, and Sam was an infant that did not sleep at all. And I was struggling. I was struggling very badly. I could not figure out how to be a good lawyer and a good mom. And it was so bad that Craig and I decided that I should take an unpaid leave of absence from my good law firm job. And trust me, we could not afford any unpaid leaves of absence, to stay home with the kids and try to figure out how we could do everything. And during that time, I started selling some stuff out of my own closet on this new-to-me site called eBay. And stuff was selling for great money, and it never crossed my mind that this could be a business or a source of any kind of income until I was at the park with the kids on a Monday morning. And I know it was a Monday morning because if you're an OG eBay seller like me, you know back in the day, we only had auctions. We didn't have any of these great tools. We didn't have phones. We didn't have laptops. We had desktop dial-up computers. And our buyers would bid on auctions on Sunday night when they were home. So on a Monday morning, I went to the park, and I met up with my mom, friends, and their kids. And I was all excited because I sold a Gucci handbag that had been sitting in my closet for years, untouched. I was never going to wear it again. It sold for almost as much as I had paid for it. And when I told them this story, their eyes lit up, and they said, "Oh, we have stuff like that in our closets. We don't know how to do eBay. Will you sell it for us?" And despite the fact that I had never been in a consignment store, I had never purchased anything from a thrift store or used, I only bought new clothes, I said, sure, why not? And a business was born. I never went back to the law firm. I was able to be a full-time, stay-at-home mom to those 2 little boys who are now a lawyer and an MBA, but I failed in one aspect. They do not sell on eBay. But we have time, right? I still only work part-time, but eBay allowed me to be an all-in, full-time, stay-at-home mother to those little boys while still making great money. And here I am, 25 years later, still part-time seller on eBay, making full-time income. So I do a lot of other things in my free time because I love working part-time at my reselling business. So I have a little teeny consulting practice for my law firm, and I teach and mentor and coach eBay sellers. And at my age, I'm a content creator. I give eBay tips on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook all the time. So make sure you're following me if you're not. All my links are at gocasachic.com. Okay, so let's talk about how I work less, make more. I really like to work smarter, not harder. And one of my favorite eBay sales tools is running a clearance rack. Anyone that has an eBay store, even the basic eBay store, can run a sale. And anyone who has a basic eBay store or higher can make categories in their eBay store. And those categories do not have to have anything to do with the eBay official categories. So my main eBay business is a fashion store. My categories are things like shoes and handbags. But one of my categories is sale rack. Very original, right? But I run a virtual clearance sale in that store all the time. So I organize my inventory by date. So when something is old, I know it's time to put it on the clearance rack, just like you would if you had a brick and mortar boutique. And I run a month-long sale, and I take off best offer, and I run the sale like 40%. And it makes the stuff move. We're in the moving business, not the storage business, so very important. And one of my other favorite tools is that custom SKU line. Now, yesterday they told us that we are going to be able to put cost of goods in our listings, but I don't know where that's going to show up in the eBay, listing process. But here, when I list, I put the item location, which is, in this case, this Eileen Fisher sweater went in my first August bag. I keep an IKEA-style bag next to my desk, and I put items in there by date. So anything I'm listing in August goes in the first August bag. When it gets filled, it goes on a shelf. I start a second bag. So the custom SKU line is for your eyes only. Your buyers never see it. So it's a great way to write yourself messages. In this case, I know where my inventory is. I know the date I listed it. And that 3 is my cost of goods. Remember, sourcing is the secret sauce to any eBay business. You need to make sure you are buying items not only that buyers need or want. In my case, I'm always looking for items that buyers want. Dave is an auto parts guy. He's probably finding items that buyers need. And make sure whatever you're sourcing, that your cost of goods is good enough to make good profit. So in this case, I paid $3 for this sweater. It will probably sell for maybe 50, 60 bucks. If it doesn't, in maybe 6 months, I'm gonna put it on my clearance rack, and I'm still gonna make money even if I sell it at 40% off. And here's the example. So this is the cardigan that I listed, and I preload my shipping. I love eBay shipping labels, but I weigh and measure everything in what it's going to be shipped in when I list it, because you're not under any kind of shipping deadline or any kind of deadline when you're listing. You have all the time in the world when you're listing, but when it's time to ship, I'm away this week. I'm sure on Monday I'm gonna have a big pile of stuff to ship. I need to ship it on time. So I've already done that work. All I do is print out my labels. I'll throw this in a poly mailer if it sells. I'll throw shoes in the box that I already have if they sell, and I don't have to worry about paying more for shipping or for looking for the box or what I'm gonna ship it in. Now, I use the sales tool also to run really short sales, and I usually run them 36 to 48 hours on the weekend. So I check my sales during the week, and if the sales aren't where I want them to be, I run a short sale at usually 10 to 20% off. I leave best offer on. I have best offer on all my fashion items except for my clearance rack, and that often brings more action to my store too. And I don't work on weekends. I'm a part-time reseller. I like my weekends off. I like to hang out with my husband. I like to do other stuff. But I do something every single day, twice a day, minimum. I send offers to anyone who has liked or watched my items. This is really helpful. Don't let those watchers sit there. They will have moved on. So this morning, I got up. How many watchers do I have? I go and I send offers. And when I get offers on my items, I try to respond to them as quickly as possible. Don't be greedy. Don't think, well, maybe somebody else will send me an offer. I'll wait and see. Always reply to those offers. Your buyers may have moved on. And my first offer is my best offer. This is an area that I do not automate my business. Now, I love automation. I love AI. I love all of that stuff. But this is an area where I really pay attention to my business. I pay attention to what my buyers are liking. I pay attention to what my buyers are sending offers on. I pay attention to what offers I'm sending on items that aren't being accepted. And this makes me better at buying for my business because I'm paying attention not only to what's selling, but what people are interested in but really aren't willing to pay good money for. And my best offer is my first offer, line in the sand. It sends like a subliminal message. I don't write it in the message, but it sends a subliminal message to my buyers that, hey, take it or leave it, this is the best I can do. And I do something that a lot of sellers do not do. I do not ever decline offers. Even the lowest of lowball, $1 on a $100 item, I don't decline. Because imagine that your eBay store is a brick and mortar store. And I walk into your store and I pick up an item and it says $50 or best offer. and I walk up to you with a credit card in my hand and the item in my other hand, and I say, I'll give you $10 for it. Now, you would probably say, well, you know what, thanks for your interest, but I can do 45. I can do 40. You would not push that buyer out the door, slam the door in their face, grab the item and not the credit card, and lock the door. That's rude. It's virtually rude. Buyers don't want to bid against themselves. And don't get insulted by lowball offers. When buyers send offers, they have a credit card attached to that offer. So they are serious about buying it. They're just not, they haven't met you don't have a meeting of the minds. So don't slam the door in the buyer's face. Stop getting insulted, send counter offers. And you can send a message with the counter offer. I can take 40, it's the best I can do. I'll ship it out to you tomorrow. And oftentimes those lowballers end up being buyers at reasonable prices, and sometimes they become repeat buyers because they know they can get like a decent deal out of you. And remember, you're in the moving business, not the storage business. And for heaven's sake, I have heard sellers tell me that not only do they decline those offers, they block those buyers. That is, don't get insulted. They're not saying your kid is ugly. They're sending you a lowball offer. So make sure you're not shutting that virtual door in your buyer's face. Okay, I've talked enough. Now you're gonna meet Dave. You're gonna love him. All right.
Thank you for sharing, Julie. I'm so happy to be here. I wanted to thank you all for showing up and filling up the conference room, and hi to everyone that's out there in the virtual audience. And here's my slide. I wanted to share with you first a story from The Signs of Getting Rich by Bob Proctor. Now, okay, there's a story to this. I got my copy of The Signs of Getting Rich out of the Goodwill bins of all places. If you've shopped there, you know, and you get really good stuff. So he tells the story of an engineering firm. And the owner of an engineering firm passes away. His wife ends up taking over the company. And what the executives at the firm thought that she might sell it, but she held on ownership, and what she ended up doing was coming in every few weeks and asking everyone at the firm what's working and what's not working. She had people focus more on what was working rather than wasn't working, and eventually they were able to raise revenue by millions of dollars. So if you can get one thing from my part of this presentation today, it is do what works. We get what we focus on, so focus more on your strengths rather than trying to improve your weaknesses. Try different things, run experiments in your business, try to find out what works for you, and keep doing more of it. As for me, I always loved the idea of having my own business. I have an MBA and a background in finance and personal financial planning. And I'm very thankful that my MBA professors let me write my research papers in small business, and that helped me over the years as I eventually was able to launch my business. I've started selling like a lot of you have. There's things in your house that you need to get rid of, and then as well as I got some liquidation lots back when digital cameras and GPSs were a thing, and now we have it all in our phones. And I also spent a lot of time in thrift shops. And a big part of my background is that my wife and I decided to pay off, or make the attempt to pay off, the mortgage on our last house. And we made a pact that we would drive our old cars so that we could pay extra on our mortgage every month and not have car payments. And so I found myself in local salvage yards, getting parts for these cars, fixing them up, watching YouTube videos, digging through factory service manuals, and I was able to fix the cars most of the time. And eventually once I moved to the automotive parts category, I was able to scale the business in a way that worked for me and my family. And this is the day that we paid off the mortgage on our house. We still have the old cars with that many miles on them. Thank you, awesome. It was from eBay money too. And so we live in a different house now, but these old cars get to park inside now. And eBay asked us to come and talk about seller tools, but I feel that the most important selling tool is you, the eBay seller. And I came across this term when writing a paper for my master's degree. It's called positive affect. And it's a pretty simple concept. There are research that's been out there, studies that have been done, journal articles, but I thought it was worth mentioning here. It has to do with our friendliness, our responsiveness, our upbeat language in our listings, our willingness to engage with our buyers and help them solve their problems, as well as our professional responses to our feedback. It can be really hard at times as sellers to have positive affect. You know, we have unhappy customers, returns that go a little sideways, you know, customer complaints. My wife, I've learned a lot from her. She's in the virtual audience, so hey. And so I wanted to say hi to her. I've learned a lot from her over the years about how to deal with people. She's a high school English teacher. And she tells me stories of how teachers, if they, you know, and they're in a conversation with a student, but it escalates to an argument, that you've lost the student, you've lost the class. And I feel that that applies here. You know, it's important for us. We work in e-commerce, right? So we can take a break. You know, I get a drink of water, take the dog for a walk. Taking a break can help us get our ego out of the situation so we can write back professionally. And I rolled into eBay Open at one of the last eBay Opens, and I was running high on my metrics for not as described returns. And that's bad. We get defects for that on eBay, and we want to do our best to not have that, but I felt like I didn't have any control over it. So I sat with a growth advisor here, and I hope you're getting your consultation here at the conference. And he suggested that I proactively message my buyers. I felt like this was a big ask. This is going to take so much time. This is going to be impossible. But what I ended up doing was creating some template messages that I can send the buyer post-sale. I want them to email me if there's a problem. I've worked with these parts. I know how they work. I can help you. In DIY, you need a little help sometimes. And so people that really need that help know that they can reach out to me and that I will be positive and try to help them fix their situation and offer support if it's needed. And I've heard from more than one business coach over the years that in order to get our businesses to that next level, that we need to improve ourselves. This is really important to me. So I listen to audiobooks, and The Science of Getting Rich is a DVD course that I listen to over and over again when I would be doing my eBay shipping. And I feel that when you're doing your personal development, that it's good to repeat those messages to yourselves over and over again. It's okay to watch those programs over and over again. Like, don't read something and just move on. You know, we need to implant that into our subconscious so that those ideas will be drawn to us when we need them. And I've taken master classes, weekend courses, and this eBay Open conference has been invaluable for my business. Okay, so here are some of the sales tools. Julie mentioned sales and offers, and I wanted to cover some more of the sales tools that are available here. If you can pick one thing from this presentation or from these sales tools, if you're here live, you know, write it down and implement it right when you get home or look it up. And if you're in the virtual audience, please look this up right after we're done with this presentation. So we have coupons. I ran a $5 off coupon sale for a couple of years straight. And I'm going to mention coupons again lower on the list. But I feel that a coupon, when you're pricing competitively with people in your category, can get you a better price point. And then you layer in your sales on top of that. And it really creates movement in your store. So brand awareness through newsletters and building customer loyalty and engaging your customers. Volume pricing, if you sell the type of item that people can buy multiples of, giving them some price discounts in there to buy can help entice them to buy more. And social marketing tools, I will cover with you a little bit how I use YouTube in this presentation, but there's a seller lab here at eBay, so make sure to check that out if that's something that's interesting to you. And eBay has also built tools for us so that we can advertise our listings out on our social media accounts. And buyer groups, so this has to do with automated offers for people that are watching our items. And we can engage our previous customers with coupons, as well as people that are watching your store. You can send them coupons as well. Here's just a snapshot of how I run my monthly markdown strategy. So I run a progressive sale throughout the month. I have a monthly sales goal, usually most months, and I'm trying to hit that goal, so I'll be putting things on more aggressive sales throughout the month. And as I hit those better price points, I hope that it will unbudge items, the items for people who hits their price that they want to pay. Julie and I run fixed ad rates during the month. I look at that from month to month personally to see if I need to adjust that number. And I'm also experimenting with promoted off-site. Okay, here we go. I asked 2 questions to eBay when I was getting ready for this presentation. It is, okay, so where does eBay put our ads when we pay for promoted off-site? And that's Google, Bing, not sure what that is, and eBay partner networks. And then how does this differ from what eBay places organically on Google Shopping to try to attract buyers to our listings? And I got this answer. With billions of listings available, not all of our listings are guaranteed to be promoted. So I was hoping that we could come up with a couple ideas around that. So the first thing would be, I got this idea when Google, the company, was here at eBay Open, is just to look up your own listings on Google Shopping. And I was doing that last week, and I couldn't find them. And I thought I had a good product, but okay, it's not out on Google Shopping. And so the marketplace it's changed a little bit. It's more crowded. So I think that we have to take more of an active role in sending buyers to both our listings and to eBay, the site itself. Just checking, polling the audience. I can't see the virtual audience. Does anyone here use the eBay Partner Network? I've got 1 person. Oh, 2 people, and you can post that in the chat if you're in the virtual audience as well if you use it. So, okay, since we have 2 people that use it and a full conference room, it is eBay's affiliate marketing program. It's not through our seller hub. It's a separate website, and this is where you get a commission for sending buyers on the internet over to eBay to make purchases. And so, if you are a content creator, if you have a niche, if you have a specialty, if you have items that you can talk for hours and hours and hours about, that like this is the right thing for you, because then you can make content about it and then send people over to eBay to get that commission. This is a new project for me. I only have about 100 videos with affiliate links on them. So it's generating around $20 to $30 a month. I just got a commission yesterday. It was $35. So making that first dollar in a new revenue stream is really hard, but I hope to build it over time. And I'm really excited about it. And I forget where I'm at. This is the last section of our presentation. So think about your questions. We're going to take some questions from the virtual audience. And I wanted to throw something a little higher level, a little technical, so just bear with me for just a minute. And I came up with this idea to use AI to analyze my sales data. We get so busy working in our businesses sometimes that we don't take a step back and get that higher level view so we can implement strategies in our business. So you can get a spreadsheet from eBay, just pull your orders for the last year, and then load that into AI and start asking questions. I asked it, what are my best-selling products? What are the best-selling categories, types of products? Things that have the highest rate of return, our cost will be eventually on this spreadsheet because we're going to add cost of goods sold into the flow of how eBay does the reporting for us. And as well as identifying seasonal sales patterns. I feel that each of our businesses runs on a slightly different sales pattern. So for example, automotive parts is very different than fashion. And what I've noticed over the years is that eBay sellers get really discouraged in those slow sales times, but you might just be in a low seasonal cycle. So you're gonna identify through AI what that time period is for you. And I don't have too many don'ts, but it's don't get discouraged, keep your motivation levels up. Slow sales times are perfect for getting more listings up on eBay. It's perfect for doing your product sourcing. You could even proactively take a vacation around that time. So here we are. We covered eBay's sales tools, doing what works. You, the seller, are the most important sales tool, positive affect. And Julie started with stories of how she got it started in eBay, and I started with a story from The Science of Getting Rich. I feel that living a rich life is so much more than just going after the money. And I wish these things for all of you, both here and in the virtual audience, that you will have a strong and healthy physical body, that you will have hope for the future, that you'll have good mental health, that you'll be able to spend quality time with the people that love you, and work with products that you find inspiring. Thank you.